Hi all, my name is Elma, and I want to tell you a story about love. Only love of parents and not for me. I think it will be close to many, so support me with likes. And if you find yourself in a similar situation, put a plus sign in the comments. Since childhood, I had a friend. Her name was Shaya. We lived next door to each other and our parents were great friends. We used to run to each other's houses like we were sisters. There was no shyness. We would stay overnight and share toys. Shaya was a little taller than me, slimmer and generally prettier, which wasn't the case for me. But I didn't notice the difference, and I didn't feel ugly in front of her. I felt like we were so related that we looked like each other. Sometimes she and I even called each other sisters, because that was the only word that could describe our relationship as closely as possible. Shaya loved me. She always defended me in front of bullies. I remember one time a non-local girl asked to play with us. Her name was Kathy. She had come to visit a relative and noticed Shaya and me on the street. She came over and we got to know each other and decided to play a game of tag. Kathy kept losing and getting mad, and then she stopped and said, "Sure, you keep helping your fat friend run away. What would she even do without you, seal?" And at that moment, I lowered my head, and for the first time, I think I paid attention to my chubby legs, my tummy, then touched my cheeks. I had nothing to say back. I felt resentment, and tears were welling up. What had Shaya done? She just punched that girl in the nose with her fist. Kathy ran home crying, and Shaya told me not to listen to her. It was a heroic thing my friend did, and I loved her even more. I told everyone about it. My parents and my relatives. Everyone praised Shaya. And my grandmother even said, "Hold on to her, she'll get you out." I didn't realize at the time that it actually sounds so fucking insulting. What do you mean she'll get me out? From where? From the bottom? Was I that lame a girl? And then we went to school together, to the same class, sat at the same desk. It seemed that my school years would be the best of my life, but they weren't. From the very first day, Shaya outshone me in class. She was the fastest in answering questions, pulled her hand out for everything, did her homework without mistakes, and everyone really liked her. Moreover, she was not even a nerd either. After a while, her external features became more feminine. Thin, her breasts, butt, and delicate shoulders looked divine. My body changed too, only it got fatter. If before I did not care, then I began to pay attention to statements of others. Like, "Oh, look at that funny couple. Why is Shaya even friends with her? To look better compared to her? Well, she already looks great. Why does she need a fat dumbass like that?" Shaya didn't even hear those words, and I could have been a few yards away, but it hurt. Of course, I didn't say anything to my friend because I thought it was stupid. But jealousy, hatred, and resentment grew inside me. And then it got worse. One day I came home in a hurry, angry and tired. And Shaya was sitting at home, drinking tea with my mother. For a long time, they did not even notice me. My mom did not say hello, and listened to my friend with interest. "I'm home. In fact, hello. How are you?" "Oh, honey, hi. I was so caught up in talking to Shaya that we did not notice you." "No wonder. Are you okay? Is something wrong? You seem a little freaked out." "Yes, I hit the car, so I'm a little freaked out." "Wow, are you okay? Why didn't you call?" "I called 6 times. 6! But you must have been busy with your other daughter." "You could have called me." "How was I supposed to know you were with my mom?" "No, I would have come and solved the problem." "Well, yes, of course. As soon as our posh Shaya gets out of the car, everything will be okay." "Thank you, my friend, but against your background, I look too unprofitable. People have mixed reactions. They may want to vomit." "What do you mean?" "Daughter, why are you being so rude? The main thing is that you're all right, and the car will be repaired." "Yes, on that note, I was fired from the cafe because I hit the neighboring table with my fat ass and plates fell everywhere. I have no money, no help. My parents and friend don't want to help either. You're too busy with each other." "Stop it! Help you with what?" "Nothing. Leave me alone." I went into my room and just got mad. And then I quickly packed my bags and left the house. You know what? Mom and Shai didn't even notice me leaving. I didn't know where I was going. I just wanted to run away. This wasn't how I had dreamed of starting my summer vacation. Not like this. I got in my car with a broken bumper and drove to another city. I wanted to start a new life without Shia and my folks. Since they liked my friend so much, why would they want me? I got a room for myself when I got there, and then I went looking for a job, but they wouldn't let me work in a store or a cafe. They said I was too nervous. Fuck you all, I yelled, and left. Toward the end of the day, I came to my rented room, lay down on the bed, and cried. But after a minute, the neighbor from the next room knocked and was like, "Can you keep your crying down? Our baby just fell asleep." And I was like, "Fuck you." It seemed like I was about to explode. In the morning, it got easier. I went looking for a job with renewed energy, and rejection after rejection spoiled my mood. Half a day later, I sat on the sidewalk in the park and roared again. "Nobody's even called me from home," I cried. Then some guy came up to me, introducing himself as Nick. "Can I help you?" "What? Me?" "Yeah, I don't see another beautiful girl here." "Oh, are you talking to me?" "Yeah, why?" "No, it's just I've never received a compliment." "You should. Everyone's either blind or stupid then." His words encouraged me. He bought me coffee and napkins and asked me to walk him home. We walked halfway down a huge block. I can't remember the last time I'd enjoyed someone's attention for 3 hours. I was in the middle of nowhere. What could be better? Nick was interested in my life, where I lived, what I did, and why I came here. He was the first person who was interested in me. The next day, we texted all day, and in the evening, he asked me out. We had a great time, and then in the evening, he walked me out again, but I so didn't want to let him go. "Would you like to come over to my place?" I asked, and my heart raced. I mean, I'd never thought before that anyone would even like me. He said yes. To make a long story short, we spent one night together. I felt really good. In the morning, I opened my eyes as sunlight flooded the room, and the place next to me was getting cold because it was empty. Not only did Nick take off, but he also managed to take all my stuff, my money and my car keys, and the car itself. Of course, I didn't know where he was from or his last name. Maybe his real name wasn't even Nick. I sat down crying again. And again, that neighbor walked in on me. "I'm sorry, I'll keep my voice down." "No, that's not what I meant. I think you need help. My spouse and I decided to help you. Here's some money and have some meat pie. Whatever happens to you, remember that the sun always rises after sundown." I cried even more. I ate and I roared and I roared and I ate. I already regretted leaving my house, so I grabbed the phone to call my mom. She immediately picked up the phone, excitedly asking where I was. "And all this time you weren't interested in anything about me? Why didn't you call then? You turned on the call forwarding. We couldn't reach you. Dad and Shia have already gone to other cities to find you. We found your license plate numbers on the cameras and we took the approximate route." "Call forwarding? God, Mom, I'm sorry. I forgot how angry I was to do that. I'm so ashamed. I'm the one who's ashamed. I should have given you more time and love. You are my daughter, and there is no one better than you." Dad and Shia came to get me. I won't tell you about the touching moment of the meeting. I will only say that I was really ashamed of myself. On the way, Shia said that she was friends with me, not because she somehow benefits from looking better than me, but because I am a good friend and, in general, the best and kindest person in her life. It was so beautiful. I was waiting for those words. Anyway, at home, I signed up for fitness, went on a diet, and my new life began. My father got another job with a better income to support me. He said his daughter would not work by herself yet. After 6 months, I lost 35 kilograms and became a little bit fatter than Shia, but it helped me change my style of dress to become more confident. Other guys were coming on to me, not even paying attention to Shia, but it wasn't that gave me strength. It was the love and belief in me from my parents and my friend. They just reminded me of who I was and that I had always been special. I just forgot about it. It is true that we only begin to appreciate something when we lose it. Do you ever have a home that turns off the light or water? And it seems to be a trifle, but it is terribly inconvenient to do some things. Now imagine that your body, which has been working properly for many years, has failed, and now some mechanism is not working. For example, you broke your arm, injured your knee, or went blind. Do you want to know how this happened to me and how I live? Then listen to my story further. Hey, Mary, let me help you. Oh, Jerry, hi. It's so good that we live next door to each other. You are my constant free companion. Come on, it's just fun for me to hold your stick. It's so light, but it's strong. I imagine that this is my sword and I am a knight. You don't have enough squares on your stomach for chivalry. Hey, even though I'm thin, very thin, I still have the advantage of my brains. I'd argue about that too. In the math test, you cheated off me. It was only once and you still remember? Hi, honey, how are you? I'm fine. How's your head? Does it hurt? No, Mom, it doesn't hurt. Hey, honey, is everything okay? Mom, stop it! Stop what? Honey, is something wrong? What happened? That's what happened. This is what happened, Mom. I'm fucking blind. This is the kind of dialogue my mother and I have almost every day. It used to be different. I was born a sighted child, but to be honest, I wasn't a very good person. When we lived in another city, at my school, I liked most of all to mock other girls, those whom I considered weaker than myself, or uglier. When I was studying in this other city, a girl named Alice came to study with us. She didn't do anything wrong. She was quiet, sweet, and that's probably what made me mad the most. In general, she had one leg shorter than the other. This is from birth, and I reproached her with it, constantly, all the time. I managed to make her life a living hell. What's the matter with you? What have I done to you? What do you need? Nothing, maybe. I just love that you're suffering just because you're nothing. But I didn't do anything to you. It's enough that you just exist, Alice. But that's not fair. Honestly? Interesting. Honesty is the truth. And the truth is, Alice, I'm your nightmare. What's going on here? Oh, Mrs. Marshall, nothing. Just Alice and I had a little argument. But it's all good, isn't it, Alice? Yes, it's all right. I need to get home. I was walking home that night. Everything was fine. Then suddenly, someone came up from behind. They grabbed me and covered my head with a hood. After a couple of seconds, I felt a terrible pain in my eyes. A liquid was poured on my face. Only then I realized that it was alcohol, and I have a terrible allergy to it. So, before help arrived, it was too late. The alcohol got on the retina and corroded it. I knew who they were and why they did it. These were all the girls I had once offended. At first, I was angry. I wanted revenge. But then I realized that it served me right. I've done worse to them. They probably didn't know I had a severe allergy. They just wanted to scare me. But it ended the way it ended. The result is that I lost my sight. This did not happen immediately, but gradually. I was released from the hospital an hour later, and my boyfriend, Steve, picked me up the next day. He said he would wait outside. I went out to see him, and I noticed that the picture was blurry. My eyes were burning, but I thought it was nothing serious. Hey, never mind. I'm wearing glasses today. My eyes hurt. Well, let's go. Mary, why did you get in the police car? Oh, shit. I'm sorry, officer. I just... Is everything all right? Need some help? Oh, no, thank you. I'll go. Everything is fine? Yes, my eyes hurt today. Maybe a doctor? Oh, no, I know what the reason is, and I'll deal with it now. The couple got in the car and drove to school. There, Mary somehow saw the crowd of girls, went up to them and spoke to Alice. I know it was you yesterday. What are you talking about? You threw the alcohol in my face, didn't you? I was home after school yesterday. What are you talking about? You'll pay for this. It was me. Margaret? What the... For what? So that you will learn once and for all that it is low to offend those whom you consider weaker. You'll think from now on. Margaret is a distant relative of mine. She has always disliked me, just as I disliked her. Once, because of me, she broke her arm. I pushed her and she fell right on a rock. I don't know why I did it. We argued about a purse. We had the same one, and I wanted it to be just me. I got angry and pushed her. Anyway, we haven't spoken since. My vision was only getting worse, and I moved to another city with my family, where there was a good eye clinic. I told my parents that I spilt it on myself, by accident. After a couple of days, my vision disappeared by almost 70%. But the good news was that I could save it. To do this, I was assigned the date of an operation, which I could only have at 15 years old. That's what the doctor said. In general, the day before the operation, I was very anxious. Jerry and I, my classmate, became friends, and he helped me all this time, saw me off, and went with me constantly. And then I suddenly realized that I had to do something. Are you sure? I have to do this. I want this. All right. Mary and Jerry went to the old school and found Alice there. At first, she avoided her, but then Mary called out to her, "Alice, I'm sorry." Alice stopped and looked at her, then slowly walked over. "What did you say?" "I'm sorry. I deserve all this. I think I was blind before all this. I don't want to start a new life knowing that I've caused so much pain." It was a long conversation. I begged and begged her to forgive me, and Jerry helped me. In the end, we both burst into tears. The other girls saw it, and I apologized to them, too, before I went home. I had the operation, and it was successful. My vision is gradually recovering, but the main thing is that my conscience is now clear. I want to appeal to you, friends. Don't be as blinded as I was. As it turned out, sometimes you don't need your eyes to see your bad actions.